Alrighty. So last week I got on a live stream and I was a little bit upset talking about my recent experience with Hilton Grand Vacations. And I started off saying, like, I don't like being lied to. And essentially, I recapped the situation where I paid for a Hilton Grand Vacations timeshare package where they were offering 75,000 points for attending their timeshare out in Hilton Head Island for a pretty discounted price, 200 something dollars. I talked about how I paid for the package. It was agreed to on the phone. All these different things happened. And then eventually, lo and behold, the points were never added to my package, my offer. And so I wanted to just give an update to that because it's been 1 week and I have spoken to them a couple times since then. And I've done a couple of things. In fact, I've even paid for another package that I would like to talk about, and just exactly how some of you guys watching might be able to take advantage if you're somebody who also likes timeshares like me, and it doesn't mind spending time with that. But I just wanted to mention that yes, Hilton Grand Vacations on the second follow up did eventually make it right, but it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I called them. Eventually got into contact with the original person who last week I was like, maybe they lied or maybe they made a mistake. And once again, she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry for the mistake." Come to find out, she was like, "Oh, later in this day, in the nighttime, my manager is going to send you the a receipt showing that yes, we attached your 75,000 points." Still never happened. She still never came through. Nothing ever happened with that. But then the next day, I called in, got somebody else, and then they were able to, I guess, take over the package for that person. I guess this was like a manager or something. And she did attach the 75,000 points. So now we have Hilton Head, 75,000 points, and we booked it for a few months from now. So it's going to be a nice little stay. And I think we'll have a good time there. And we're going to get the cool 75,000 points for, a few days and the timeshare presentation, which I'm not worried about, which I've talked about a million times about how I tend to just kind of like timeshare, timeshares. So I don't know, make the points getting really easy. But I also wanted to mention because I'm also live at an earlier time and a different day than normal, so it's a little bit different. But I wanted to mention right now there is an offer of 100,000 points right after all this started happening. I think a few days ago this went live, and I actually just before I went live bought this under my wife's account because I'll talk about a way to kind of game this a little bit. But essentially, right now, Hilton Grand Vacations has an offer of get 100,000 Hilton Honors points after your getaway from 149 a stay. And so this is essentially the offer I took the other day, except 25,000 more points, and it's like $100 cheaper. So you can see this one right here, Orlando, Florida. So $149 for the stay. That's 4 days, 3 nights, 100,000 points. I feel like a timeshare presenter right now. And you get up to 12 months of travel to book it. And they have a few different vacation clubs that you can actually go in and stay at. But I wanted to kind of go live today because the offer does expire April 1st, so tomorrow, of course, the full day. And so literally right before I went live, I went, grabbed my wife's Hilton Surpass card because well, one thing that I knew from the process, but I was waiting to speak on until it actually went through, was that when you actually buy one of these packages with your Hilton Surpass card, it does code towards the Hilton credit, the $50 quarterly credit. And so this 149 after taxes ended up being like 161. In about a week, I would say we'll get that $50 credit back, and it'll be about a little over $100 for this entire 4 days, 3 nights. And we will have, if everything goes through correctly, which I'll talk about some things that could happen by doing this, including getting cancellations and being blacklisted, all these different things. But if everything works out correctly, we'll have spent $100, spend 3 nights in Orlando for the hell of it. I'll just go drive down. Maybe we'll do a mini meetup or something, and then we'll get 100,000 points. So not only would I get the 75,000 points for mine, but then also 100,000 points for this offer as well between my wife and I. So I kind of wanted to mention it because I know this hit a lot of people's inboxes. So if you have this offer, just know it is expiring tomorrow. So that's why I took advantage literally today. But there's a lot of other places too. Vegas, which is actually, this is the exact offer I took a few years ago before we got married, for the La Vegas meetup a couple of years ago, and actually same exact offer. Spent 149, well 160 after taxes, got 100K points, and we booked I think it was the Boulevard. That was the actual one that was called on Las Vegas Boulevard. It was good. It was very nice. I got Honolulu. I was talking to some people off camera in the Discord, and they were mentioning like, oh, they have to go. Some people have to go to Hawaii, or some people have to go to other, cities or countries. And I was like, not countries, but actually, yeah, countries too, but cities. And I was like, you can go to Hawaii, You could spend it's $900, but you get 5 days and 4 nights at 100,000 points. And I listen, I've said it enough times. Honestly, they should pay me. Like Hilton should pay me to sell these timeshares because all I'm doing is telling people, like, look, just say no. Just say no, have a good time. It's really not that big of a deal, to be honest, personally. Some people have had bad experiences, but so far I've had fun ones, and people I've talked to have had fun ones as well. As Mike Newland says, also get 12x back on the Surpass card. So I ended up also earning about 3,000 points on my purchase, and then on her card it'll probably be about 2,000 points, something like that, with the Hilton Surpass card. So I think I just really think it's an easy way. And some people say my time's not worth that. Some people say, I don't want to have to be worried about being harassed for a couple of hours on a vacation. But I'm like, do all your normal trips and then just make this another trip. Just do another trip if you have the time during the year. And even though it says you have to do it within 12 months, just know that they frequently, if you buy a package, you cancel it, they usually just don't care. You just keep extending it. Basically, they just want you to get in the door. So you can extend it past 12 months if you really want to, for the most part, but within 12 months you can find a date. Go to Orlando, go to Vegas. They have ones in Times Square in New York. Me and Philmo were talking about that. There's ones in Hawaii. Apparently there's ones in St. Martin. There's like ones everywhere. So I think anywhere you live, you might be able to, you might be able to actually get one. Where there's where it's near you. So yeah, I hope it works out. Now here's where it could not work out. So in the middle of all of this, I ended up actually calling. Once everything was settled, I called again and I got on the phone with somebody who used to be like a head manager of a branch, and he was able to um kind of go more in depth about all the different rules, because I literally asked him straight up. I was like, so I bought a timeshare, told him the situation, and I said, but I said I was married and my wife would be attending the timeshare. Now, typically, I mean, all of this is public record, but I guess there's no real way that anybody would verify that you are married or you're not married. I suppose they could, but they ask you if you're married or not. I usually would just say no, because then your wife's not on the hook of attending, like mandatory attend the timeshare. I said yes because I actually thought it would be better for the video and it would be just funny to have her reaction to it all. So I said yes because I didn't expect any other offers to come around. And so now that this 100K offer came around, I'm like, oh, why did I say that I was married? Because I could have just bought it under her name and we could have two packages free and clear. Now that I said I'm married, uh, and I asked him this. I said, "What happens if I said I'm married, but my wife, we pay for it under her account?" He said, "Well, one of two things will happen. One, they don't catch it, that nobody notices, and then you can do your timeshare and you should be fine." He said the other thing is, when we worked in management, is he found that uh, there was some employee that apparently, because they're not allowed to buy their own packages, the people that work for the timeshare, but he said that his one of his employees had his wife buy it, and apparently they didn't even have the same last name. Like, they never changed the name, and they still found out, and that employee got reprimanded, he said. But me as a consumer, I don't know any better, because all I see is in my inbox offers, right? And I actually, oddly enough, I can buy one too. Even though I have one, you can only hold one package at a time. I could buy one as well. And I asked him, what happens if I buy another one? Like, what would happen if I were to buy one under my name, even though I have one? He said, well, basically the worst thing that happens is they'll call you. They say, oh, you're only allowed to have one, and then they just refund you and cancel it. So he said, honestly, he said the salesman in me would say, try it out, try to buy under your wife's name. He says, but the worst that happens is, again, if they find out, then they will just cancel the package, because at the end, I mean, we know what we're kind of doing, but nobody else in the world knows. Everyone just gets an email in their inbox and they take an offer up. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, let me book it under her maiden name, because we didn't change any of her credit cards or any of her loyalty apps as her maiden name. So why not just buy it all under her maiden name, because that's what everything is listed under anyway. Go in the next month or so, whenever I have this timeshare booked under my name, let's go there, get the points. After that, then we'll call up to Hilton and we'll say, all right, we're ready to book this one, and have her do the talking and something like that. Um, Listen, I'm in here for points. And some people were like, "Oh, Anthony, you're gonna get blacklisted." I'm like, if I get blacklisted from Hilton Grand Vacations, that's not the worst thing in the world. It's like if I get blacklisted from being never be able to do a timeshare ever again, am I really lacking? I don't think so. But some people don't like to be a little crazy. I like to be a little crazy. It's also I want to live stream this and not video it because it won't get as many views. So you core people understand like the gaming mentality I have with some of these things. And so with Hilton, timeshares, I'm like, if there's an opportunity to get for $200 in cash. Yeah, $200 or yeah, $100 for her, two for me. So about $300 in cash, we can get 8 days or 8 days in a destination where it's Hilton Head or Orlando, whatever. Just go hang out. And we can get 175,000 points. I mean, is that not a great return? Even all the people that say, "Oh, my time is worth more than that." If someone said like, "Here's a vacation, you spend 300 and you get 175,000 points," I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm just that broke of points, right? Maybe I just have no bankrupt Hilton points that I'm starving for them that I'm willing to take that up. But in my opinion, that's a worthy venture. But that's how I justify it. That's how I justify it to me. So just so you know, that's what I'm doing currently. That's what I just did. And that's what I'm planning to get some extra points for this year so we can use those points for some crazy travels. And even on top of that, another thing I said last time, which I said to you guys, is when I spoke to the people, the managers, they said, well, actually, this was the second manager person that ended up getting everything correct, like saying, here's your 75K points. So, yes, they did give me everything. She said, she literally said, hint, hint, Anthony, when you go to the timeshare, that's typically like physically on location. That's when they'll have even better offers. So I was like, what are you talking about? And she said, I mean, obviously I know, but I was like, what do you mean? And she said, when you go there, there'll be other people selling you additional packages because I guess you're like the perfect product market fit. It's somebody who's at that hotel, a timeshare already. How could we sell them on another one in a different location? So she said, usually those offers range anywhere between 75,000 points and like 150,000 points. And they can be in different locations. That's how I learned that they had one in like St. Martin and other countries, which I thought was pretty interesting. She said there was a one that's like $600, 5 days, or yeah, 5 days in St. Martin for like 100,000 points. And they offer cruises too, free cruises. Some people get some crazy offers. So in my mind, I was like, okay, I'll do mine. When I get there, my package will be done, but I'll purchase another one so this way I can do my two in 1 year. So if they have an offer that's again like I don't know Orlando for 100K or somewhere 100K, I could just easily drive to. Then I could buy a second one under my account, and then we can eventually book the one that she did under her account. Again, this might not all work out, but I think it's still a worthy venture, and it's just fun. Whatever. It's fun at the end of the day. But that's just me. That's just me. I'm a little bit more crazy. So let me see. What are the people saying about all this nonsense? It's pretty early, right? We're used to like midnight, when we start streaming, but it's only 7. It's only because my wife's doing something. I have to go pick her up after, so we'll have to finish right around 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So about an hour. So Jordan, what's going on, Jordan? Mike Newland, what's popping? Mike, Sean B, residential green villain. Hello, sir. Noah, howdy, what's popping, man? Mark, they gave that missing 25 coins to you? Yes. Yes, sir. I got the 75K guaranteed now. I see it on my account. Got a screen, not a screen. When you actually buy the package, they allow you to log in. And when you log in, you can see what your package is, but only when you actually book the dates. So I have the dates, the area, and the 75K attached. So I thought that was cool. Davo, you're Davo, you from New York? Only New York people I know did the year. Filmo, Hilton told me I could have 150K if I unsub to Anthony Venture. Do it. Absolutely do that. Honestly, if I'm being really honest, does anybody subscribe to anybody nowadays? I mean, I see my numbers go up. I don't ask for subscriptions anymore like I used to when I was sub 1,000, but why do you even like there's really no purpose to subscribing to people nowadays. The only thing that matters is do you watch this person and then YouTube recommends it to you. That's it. If you watch the person, they get recommended to you. It does not matter what's subscribed or not. And back in the day on YouTube, we used to all like go on the subscription tab and then you would see all your favorite creators. Nobody does that anymore. Now it's just homepage. Okay, what's being pushed to me? So I would say unsub from Anthony and get the 150K. I agree. Go for it. Mike Newland said the 12X also. Oh, I missed this. John, Two spot. Appreciate you, Sir John. Appreciate it, man. How are you, sir? Thank you for being here, man. Thank you very much. Is anybody taking advantage of these timeshares, or is it just me? Am I crazy? Mark, how do they choose properties for you? Do they assign one, or you get to choose one when booking? So a couple moving parts. So when you do buy one, they well, initially you'll have, like I showed you on the screen, like these ones. So like you'll see, oh, okay, Orlando, Las Vegas. So you'll buy it for that particular location, and it does essentially lock you into that location, but you can change it. I'll call it to some stipulations, but initially, yes, like these are the main ones for this offer. There's also, these aren't the only locations. I guess these are just the ones that are available with the 100K. I wouldn't be surprised if you did call in. So if you call 844-538 this number, they'll ask you for like a number, like, because usually you get these in the email and there's some sort of a number that's registered to your account only. But if you just say like you got some sort of a promotion in your inbox, but there's no like number to it, you could just say like these are their offers, and then they could see what's available. You could ask if there's other locations, and they'll give you like a rap sheet of all of them. But if you were to like book Orlando and say, hey, I want to change this, then they well, a couple of things will happen. Well, one, first they're going to tell you like all the locations within that location. So like there's SeaWorld Orlando, Tuscanyville, like there's a few different ones all within Orlando, a few different properties. So make sure you get the right, a good one, good area, stuff like that. But if you say you want to change the entire location, they have to give you a new package, and that new package might only offer a lower amount of points. So like if like this offer ends, and 2 days from now you buy a package today, and then 2 days from now you want to change it, they might say, hey, you could do Vegas, but now it's 215,000 points instead of 100,000 points. So you kind of have wiggle room to change it, but you just might not get the best offer like you had initially. And I know some people have actually like given refunds in that case, but just assume no refunds. Even though it is possible, just assume none to make life easier. But yeah. So then once you actually do book that, then they'll ask which property. Well, a lot of the times you have to. So what I would do too before anybody buys anything, if you are interested in this, like crazy me, call them first and ask them like, because I'm more flexible because self-employed for all my jobs. So I can kind of like make hours or make time for things if need be, for the most part, except for like real estate. And then, yeah, I kind of have to be around. But for the most part, I can kind of make the schedule. So like I can be flexible with things, but not everybody's like that. So, a lot of people work in W-2s, stuff like that. So if you have like a certain amount of weeks, like only 2 weeks in May or 2 weeks in July that you can take off for this specific thing, call them first, see if they have that available. And then you would buy the package and you could book it right away. A lot of the times people just buy without thinking, and then they'll call up and say, hey, I want these dates, and they'll say that's not actually available. So I actually got the last date in the month that I booked it at. So at least that's what they said. I got the last date. So just know, I would call first, ask if the travel dates that you want to go to for that location are available for the hotel that you want to as well, because each hotel has different availability. If they say yes, 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 they say, okay, I'll buy it right now with you, and let's book it right now as well. So you lock it in. Freaking allergies. Yeah, so that's the deal there. That's the deal. Michael Wong says, oh, congrats, man. Michael Wong. Mike, I know you're taking advantage, right? You're gonna take advantage of the 100K, you were saying? Leanne, we were doing one in Kauai, 7 nights. Really? Ooh, they got a I didn't know they had one in Kauai. Did I miss that? No, they Honolulu, Waikoloa. Uh, wow, very nice. Right, there it is. That's in Kauai. No, I didn't see Kauai. I see in Maui. Wow, I wonder how that property is, Leanne. You get 100,000 points. That's great. Oh, I would love to go to Kauai. I mean, even though I want to go to that Grand Hyatt in Kauai, eventually, it'd be nice to go to Kauai and just do like 5 nights there. And think about that. Think about supplementing a whole trip. Like you spend $800, you can get 5 days in Kauai, or 7 nights, like Leanne says. And then if you want to go to some other crazy hotels, extend your stay by a couple nights. But I don't know. I just think it's great. For me personally. I know, but some people call me crazy. Mojo, how's it going, sir? Happy Monday. Appreciate you, sir. Kevin Iwen, I plan to save up enough points for big trip for family and save about 100,000 points for emergency. Very nice, Kevin. Very nice. How many is that, Hilton points, or is that anything else? That's pretty interesting. Have a stash of points in an emergency in case something happens. Like have a subsection instead of going bankrupt on your points like me. in some cases, then have a stash of like a certain amount so you can book a couple hotels in case you need it. That'd be cool. That's interesting. Like, well, Marriott was baiting me to buy their timeshare last week on the virtual one, since it was my second one in 2 years. If I declined, they would pause me from doing another one. Ooh, yeah, that's what they see. Like, I don't think many people have. If I'm being honest, maybe I'm just I don't know, maybe just I haven't looked around enough, but I feel like I might be one of the few people in the world who are like pushing timeshares because our situation is different than the rest of the world. We're credit card points and miles maximizers. We're people who say no to most things. I think we're frugal at heart, so we can get a cheap stay and get a lot of points and supplement some future vacations. I think we're like a different edge case, but I think I'm like one of the few people. So I wonder, everything I've usually touched, it destroys, unfortunately. Like, a few things I've talked about in the past, they end up going away. So now I'm a little bit fearful to talk about certain things. But with the Hilton Grand Vacations, man, if everyone starts taking advantage, we might break it. You never know. We might break it, just like we all broke the gift cards with the Surpass. But as Michael Wong says, yeah, they try that. I remember because I ask a lot of questions on these calls, so I can tell you guys some of the things I learned. But on that call with that manager, I was like, I forget exactly what I asked, but I was like, how can I take advantage of both offers, or can I do something like this? And she was like, well, you don't want to do that because then you could be put on a list where we say like we won't market to you any longer. You essentially get like blacklisted. She didn't say those words, but you can get on those deals. But again, once again, I didn't know if I was going to be like, I don't have this on my to-do list every year, like go do a timeshare every year, but the offer presented itself. So I was like, I'll take advantage. Um, so it's like, if it goes away forever and I never can do a Hilton timeshare again, like I'm not that bummed out about it personally. I'll be a little bummed, but you get it. You get the point. Boxer, what's up, buddy? It's popping, Boxer. What is popping, my friend? How are you, sir? Leanne, I got my offer while in presentation on the Big Island. Look at that. That's how you got a good offer, baby. I love it. See, that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping to go to Hilton Head, and they're like, oh, here's the 75K points. Finish your stay. Hey, want to do, you want 100K offer, 150K offer? Honestly, how about this? I'll say it now. If I go to that timeshare in another month or so, and they give me an offer for Kauai, in Kauai for like, I'll say under 1,000 cash, and it's like 7 nights, like Leanne. If I get Leanne's offer, let's say it's 100,000 points, 7 nights in Kauai, I'll take it. I think I'll take it. I think I would easily pay 1,000 for that, because that would be sick. That'd be pretty funny. Um, I think that would be cool. I might do that. Call me Lonnie. What's going on, man? Hilton Grand Vacations, episode 3. The season finale of this is about to be good. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I would say, so is this episode 3? Actually, I think it might be episode 3. We can combine video and live streams. We'll do season 2 will be when we get there, and we'll do a video about it. And I want to get my wife's take on camera while we're there. I want to make it more dramatic. Be like, oh my God, we're here. I want to get her take. She's like, I don't know about this. And I want to secretly, hopefully, record a little bit, but we'll see. Like I did last time. Kevin, I still get comments on that timeshare video. People who just like aren't in our niche, and they're like, it's all obviously, it's all a scam. For the people who actually like go through and go to actually, they have the intention of buying a timeshare and they get scammed. Yeah, that happens all the time. But that's not our mission. Woodsy, yo, what's going on, Woodsy? Get your point. Agreed. Yeah, get your points. Leon says, we kept saying no, and then the third person we had to clear through offered me 7 nights in Kauai for 16. Oh, so 1,600. 1,600. That's a little more expensive. But it's 7 nights in Kauai. And did they offer anything else? Was it just 1,600? Did they offer you points, Leon? I'd love to hear. Boxer. I subscribe. Boxer subscribes to YouTube channels. My YouTube is really weird. Cars, race cars, credit card videos, and cruises. That's funny. Mine is like all the workout people, and then like health people, like Paul Saladino. But then I have a weird thing where I'll sometimes watch like that channel. It's like podcast cringe. I don't like any negativity in my life. I don't project any negativity in the world. It's just not the way to do it. But for some reason, I kind of like that channel where they go over like blunders in the podcast world. I don't know why. It's kind of like, it's like a weird thing that I like to watch. But Otherwise, yeah, it's like health, fitness, credit cards. That's pretty much about it, to be honest. Nowadays, I think. Anything else? Oh yeah, comedian, stuff like that. Um, John says you do it all. Kevin, which better W-2 or 1099 for free time? Well, I mean, the idea is W-2 typically is like your 9 to 5 job. It could be different, but most people when they think W-2, they think 9 to 5. So you're locked in for 5 days, 6 days a week. Um, which we've all worked at some point. 1099 is typically they call you a self-employed, independent contractor. So this is like being a real estate agent or a YouTuber or some of these other, little jobs that aren't necessarily on a clock basis, but more of a service basis. Personal trainers sometimes. So this way, it's like your time is spent with people who buy your services instead of like just clocking into somebody else's corporation. So the business is yours. When you do that, then yes, you have you have unlimited free time until you can get busy enough where you don't have that much free time. So in real estate, sometimes in the past, when I was doing a little bit more, I was very busy, constantly driving around to different, counties and areas around here, towns, showing houses and doing a million different things. But you could also say like, hey, I don't show houses on X day, but once you're in it, you're kind of addicted. You're like, okay, whenever they're ready, I'm ready. So you eventually just work 7 days a week. So same with YouTube. Like every day I'm doing something with YouTube. Even though technically I'm not clocking in anywhere, but like even this is work, but it's fun. It's fun. We get to hang out for a little bit. Like to think of myself as well-rounded. I mean, I'm fat, but I guess it's also a figure of speech. Come on, Boxer. I mean, with a name like Boxer, I mean, come on. Go ahead. Go ahead for you need to go do a Jake Paul fight one of these days. Live up to the name. Ripa. I took the 149 Vegas 100K. Let's go, Ripa. Let's go. I love it. I love it. And if I hear anybody saying like, I did the package, Anthony told me about it, it was good, and then I unfortunately I said yes and I bought a timeshare, I'll be so upset. I'll be so upset. I'll never talk about a timeshare ever again. No matter how many caveats I gave you and told you say no, and you still did it, I'll be upset. Not saying you would do that, Ripa. I'm just saying in general. Ripa would never do that. Rodrigo, sorry, just joined. How was the timeshare presentation? How many times did you have to say no before they got the message you just wanted the 100K? So I didn't do the timeshare presentation yet. That'll be next month. But as far as like the first timeshare, how many times did I have to say no? Well, the problem was I prolonged the first one because I did it with Calby and it was for a video. So I just sat there with him actually talking to the timeshare person as if we could have been normal buyers. But we gave like every excuse in the book. And even with us prolonging it and having a good time talking to this person, like it wasn't just a shutdown. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting, and talking to her. It still was max from the time that I went down for the timeshare to leaving and getting my 100K points. Hour 45, 2 hours, I would say. That was including watching the presentation and talking to the people. Probably an hour 45, I would say. So I'm like, who cares? A couple hours out of your 4-day stay, why not? For me. So yeah, but most people, Rodrigo, they just say like, I'm here for the points, or they'll talk a little bit and say like, this is not for me. I appreciate it, but it's not for me. Where do I sign for my points? So yeah, that's usually people can get out of there in under a half hour sometimes, but I would just assume an hour and a half and have fun with it. Just have fun with it. You're not going to buy anything. Just, if you want to talk to somebody, go for it. But I tend to have fun with those things because I know the answer is always no matter what they say. So I don't care. But it's in the world of not wasting people's time, you could just say like, yeah, it seems interesting, but it's just not for me at this time, unfortunately. I've got bills. We just bought a house. Like we just did a bunch of stuff. We're getting married. Like you can say whatever you want. Phil, I signed up for a Best Western timeshare, but now I'm thinking I got tricked into joining a cult. I don't know about the Best Western timeshares, man. I know about Marriott. I know about Hyatt. I know about Hilton, but I don't know about the Best Westerns. You got to be careful with that. You never know. You might. There might be a bunch of hoods, walking around, and then they take you into the back room, and then you have pentagrams and stuff. You don't know what happens at Best Western. That's the problem. Kevin says mixed points currently mostly chasing an Amex for 100,000. Very nice, man. John R says timeshare pop-up jail. Yeah, if I end up in timeshare pop-up jail, like, am I really going to start crying? Am I going to start crying? No, I'm really not that worried, personally. Michael Wong says, so for my Hilton Grand Vacations 100K timeshare I called the rep and told me the actual offer was 50K. He had to adjust and call me back, and he gave me the 100K match. Vegas, baby, for now. Let's go. Have fun in Vegas. I thought it was a great location. I loved it because it wasn't right on the strip, and it was like a 5 minute Uber drive, and it was cool. It was a good location. I liked it. At least the one we went to on the boulevard, um, or the boulevard. But that's cool, Michael Wong. Interesting. They said like, oh, it's 50K. Like you bought it, unless you bought it separately and then you matched it. But that's cool. The Green, random question: thoughts on applying for the Hilton Honors no annual fee card? I know in your prelude you went for the Surpass, but not the Honors card. Seems like easy points. So funny, I have everything ready. Um, so yeah, I mean, to your point, right now, the Hilton Honors card is no annual fee, and the offer right now is 70,000 Hilton Honors points plus a free night reward. You spend $2,000 in the first 6 months, really easy money, and you'll get 7,000 points and a free night. So I think that's a great value proposition. I would just say the only reason we went for the Surpass instead is because, well, I wanted the extra points because of where I wanted to stay, and I didn't mind the 150 annual fee. And also, I have no other way to have Hilton Gold status at the moment, so this was my way to get Gold status. I didn't need it on my wife's account, but I figured for an extra 150 points, I'll spend the extra 1,000, and I'd rather get the extra 60,000 points. But I agree. Maybe would it have been smarter to do one Surpass, one no annual fee one? Yeah, I agree. If I never had any Hilton on his cards at all, 100%. Like if I didn't have any Hilton cards at all today, and I had this offer right now, I would immediately just jump on the no annual fee. Granted, like 524 statuses, and you're not worried about that, and you're okay with applying for a card, all the different stuff that people tell you. You're just free and clear and just want like some cool vacations with Hilton. Yeah, I would jump on this right away. And then, they say the Amex 1 in 5 rule. So 6 days later, if you want to be safe, I would probably personally, I'd probably go for the Surpass as well. I mean, it's literally what I did, except it was like a few months apart. Like I went for the no annual fee and then the Surpass a few months apart a few years ago. And I never regretted it because it gave me a lot of Hilton stays for really nothing. And back then, I did get a free night with my Surpass. It did not come with the standard Hilton Honors. It came with 150,000 points. But yeah, personally, I love it. So I would say if you're just getting into it, you're still a little bit new, I would just get the no annual fee, hang out with it, enjoy it. Don't build up those annual fees if you don't need to. And yeah, and you can get a couple good nights with just this offer. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Um, whatsoever, absolutely. And refer links in the description below. But no, I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. We just went for the Surpass because I was like, I don't mind paying a little extra money, but getting an additional amount of points at this time. You know, but forget it. If my plan works out with the timeshares, I mean, we might be sitting on, yeah, probably like without doing anything else, like a 500,000 Hilton and like 2 free nights, which is pretty cool. And a couple of vacations to boot. Tristan, finally got an offer for the CFU, but I have no interest in a new credit card right now. That's the sticks, man. That's the sticks. What can you do? Sometimes it's not your time. Sometimes it's not your time, and that's fine. That's definitely fine. Lean says, I don't remember if I was over points. Looking for the paperwork now. Cool. Cage, can you attend a presentation even if you're local? Like from Vegas? Can I go to Vegas Grand Vacation too? Yeah. Yeah, literally, I'm going next month to Hilton Head Island, which is my exact state. It's only like, I think it's 3 hours away, maybe a little more, 3.5 hours away. So I'm just going to drive there and take that offer. Also, another thing to know is a lot of these offers, you might be wondering, like, I never got an email, or where are my Hilton Grand Vacation emails? It's a lot of it does depend on your zip code, what I learned. So whatever your zip code is, whether it's a Vegas zip code, a New York zip code, or me, South Carolina zip code, you'll get different offers or you'll get more frequent offers. I think a lot of it probably depends on like income and how likely they have data to prove all these different things. But I'm assuming a lot of it's how likely you are, because once I moved from New York to South Carolina, I got very much fewer, way fewer like Hilton Grand Vacations offers. But I still got a good amount in South Carolina, but I feel like I got more in New York. But that's just me. So, but yeah, you can do it if you're local. It really doesn't matter if you're local or not. You can just, if you have the offer, you can take it and you can go there. Sean says Hilton probably gave up trying to sell me after I turned them down in New York City and recently Cabo. I would totally do the 100K to get more out of them. Cabo, I didn't know they had Cabo either. That'd be cool. Wow. I know they got the one in Times Square in New York, but that's cool. Excuse me. That's cool. That's very cool. Leanne says, we were at the Hilton Waikoloa Village on Points. Oh, I didn't even realize this. So this one, I had a feeling it might have been, but I didn't want to speak out of turn. But so this the Waikoloa the Hawaii this is Maui. Very nice, very nice. So this is 1,100 for 5 days, 100,000 points. Look at that. Let's see. Look at this. Look at the Hawaiian sunset. It's beautiful. It's absolutely. It's beautiful. I would love to do that. Give me the ocean tower. But I don't want to spend that 1,000 right now. I would do it if they offered it in the future, but we'll see. Uh, oh, Box says, oh, sorry. Box says, not that type of boxer. Hey, you never know, though. You never know. What time is it? 7:21. Josh, was the first thing I hear when clicking on the live is something about fighting Jake Paul. Not me. You'll see me get slept. You'll see me end up laid out. I'll be looking like Tyron Woodley on the floor. It'd be horrible. Make for good content, though. Bradley, I just got the 100K Hilton Honest points for 149. Use my Hilton business for 60 back too. That's right. Forgot about that because I don't have that card. I'm hoping that card also comes with its own free night at some point. If it does, I'll probably jump on it. The 175K points is nice, but it is a little bit of spend. Honestly, I probably should go for it, to be honest. To be honest, we'll see. We'll see. I'm waiting to see what kind of expenses we have coming up, but I still have about a month. I think it ends April 29th, but I would like a free night with it. This might be crazy. I didn't think I was going to go back into Hilton so fast. Basically, I'm pretty sure I spent between 300,000 and 400,000 Hyatt points on my Italy vacation. So it's a lot. And like half of it's at one hotel, but I think it's going to be pretty crazy, but I'm still wondering, should I split it up? But I thought I was going to go like to Marriott, stuff like that. But these Hilton offers just dropped and I'm like, I'm going all in Hilton again. I don't care. Like until I can build up my Hyatt points again, I'm just going I'm all in Hilton for this time being because there's so many cool stays to do, for sure. So very nice. But yeah, on your point, the Hilton business card gives you $60 per quarter, so that also will discount that. So he paid 149 after the taxes and fees, like 161, I believe, and then after the credit comes back in like a week or so, it'll be like, what is that? $100 out of pocket or 90 or $100 out of pocket. So that'll be cool. Very, very cool. Leanne says, I got 200 back with the Aspire. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I have heard that, the resort properties and whatnot, you can get that $200 back with the Aspire too, which is like pretty cool. Juan Garcia. Hey, Anthony, let's go. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for being here. Israel. Hello, Israel. Is that how I pronounce your name? Or is there a better way? Let me know. I appreciate you being here. Avengers, I got denied for the City Rewards Plus card last week, probably due to too many recent accounts and inquiries. I hope to try to get that card again in 6 months if City doesn't discontinue it. Yeah, I've been seeing that in the deal in the Discord. A lot of people have been talking about, what is it? The City Custom Cash being discontinued and like no longer able to product change or certain things like that. I still, one of these live streams, I want to do like, City deep dive, because I still haven't looked into it. I just haven't cared yet. I think I will care this year or next year, but I just haven't looked into it yet. But yeah, I have heard some of the City cards are like getting discontinued and stuff like that. So sorry to hear. But I hear you. I hear you. There's always another day, always another card to get. Philip Stuckey. I currently have the Hilton Business and the Aspire. Amex won't let me apply for a new card until I get rid of my Blue Cash Preferred next week. I'm really thinking of adding really into adding the Surpass. I think so. I mean, it's. I would say, if nothing else, since there's no family language on the Hilton cards right now, since you have the Aspire, you could still get the welcome offer on the Surpass. Keep it for a year and then downgrade it to the no annual fee. I mean, you already have Diamond with the Aspire, so you're fine with that. But I don't see any problem with having Aspire, getting a Surpass for the welcome offer. I mean, it's just easy value, and then canceling it after a year for sure. P-Tran says, do you have a link to the Hilton offer you got? Yeah, I'll send it here. I didn't want to put it in like a description or anything, just in case, it's like, we saw you do that, but I'll leave it in I think you should click on it. You'd be able to click on it right there. But yeah, I dropped it in the chat. Freaking allergies. Joshua, LOL, true. I've gotten an email and a phone call from IHG timeshares every week. Granted, I live in the Bay Area. They wouldn't stop until they found out I was younger than 25 years old. Oh my goodness. Really? So they found out you were 25 and they stopped calling? Because when I did my timeshare, I think I was 25. Was I 25 in 2023? I don't even know. When the hell was I 25? I might have been 25 or 26. I might have just turned 26. Yeah, I think I just turned 26 actually when I did that timeshare. So that's funny that under 25 and they say, you can't do it. You know, I always found it so funny because there were some hotels that I wanted to book that were like you have to be 25 or older to book. And I remember I was like in the points of miles game when I was like 21. And I had these Hilton points and I was starting to book things at like 22. And you're like, I don't know if I was still able to book it, but I asked them on the phone. I was like, what happens if I get there? It was in these little towns, like Cape May and stuff. I was like, what happens if I'm under 25? Can I get in there? And they were like, well, you need ID. It's like maybe you can't do it, or not. It wasn't. Well, Cape May was not a point stay, but you get the point. There was some hotels that didn't let you do that. And in car rental too. Car rentals too. Boxer says, well, Hooters is on the way. I'll be back. What? Wait, what is that? Well, hold on. What does that mean? Hooters is on the way. Now, do you mean that you're on the way to a Hooters? Or do you mean that you specifically have like a Hooters Uber Eats delivery coming to you? Or is there a delivery of a Hooters girl coming to your house? There's a lot of different ways you can say that. And to me, that means you might be having a good time, Boxer. You never know. I don't know what you guys get down with on Monday nights. Filmo's World. Do they have any properties in Detroit? No, but I heard they have them in Compton, though. I heard there's a grand vacation in the middle of Compton, right in Skid Row. Could you imagine? That would be the most viral video ever. If like I had a timeshare in Skid Row. Jesus Christ, that'd be so crazy. That was my original idea before the 10,000 like most dangerous hotel in America. I interpreted it initially as the most dangerous hotel, like one in those bad areas, but I was like, that's too scary. I'll just do like the one in the middle of the ocean. Jason says, have you seen any larger than 15K offers of BPP? Yeah, actually, in the Discord, you had to be targeted for it, and I was gonna do it, but I wasn't targeted. But it was like a spend 6K gets 75,000 Amex MR points, and I think it's still live. If you go in the Discord, link down below, in one of the sections, it might be in the all the way at the bottom, the no lifetime language section. Even though it's not a no lifetime language link. You can see if you're targeted by logging in, and you'll see if you're eligible for the spend 6K get 75,000 MR points. Honestly, it was a great offer. There's 50Ks, I'm sure. Every now and again they roll around, but public offers, yeah, I've just seen 15. Just 15 running around. Vincent was late to the party. No, man, Vincent, you are the party. Appreciate you, man. Tushar, Maui Bay Villas is probably the nicest Hilton Grand Vacation property. It's brand new, and I just stayed this past August. Beautiful grounds with modern villas in a great location. Cash rates were insane too. Good to know. Good to know. That's absolutely great to know. Let me see. Is this? Well, they don't mention it in this one, but that's good to know. Good to know. Listen, I might take advantage. I might. Not many people know about the property. It's harder to book. Good to know. I said good to know like 5 times. No, thanks for that. It is. I'll remember that. Jason says, just don't tell them you're married. Otherwise, both of you have to be there the whole time. Agreed. Yeah, absolutely agreed. You have to, don't say you're married, or else you got to do it. I made the mistake because I just didn't think we were going to get offers that fast. I didn't think we were going to get another one. So I was like, let's just say we're married, and then I'll have her come and we'll just do a funny video together. But for everybody else, yeah, don't don't do that. Quack. Hilton $30 per day credits are so damn powerful that, man, people don't talk about enough. It's part of the reason why I stayed Hilton more. Preach. I'm telling you. I for years have talked about the daily dining credits. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. I love it. But I think the problem is I just assume I always assume that people are like as frugal as I am for a lot of things. And so when I have the $30 in credits every day, I don't even want to eat the local cuisine. I just want to stay at the hotel and I want to eat the $30, in credits or $50 in credits. When I was, there's a few places I've been to where that's all I did. Like I maybe we went out to eat once at some overpriced place, and then we would just come back to the hotel and we just ate there. It was a fantastic time. Some location like right on the water, one of the best burgers ever, and you can just really enjoy your time with those credits. And it just tastes so much better when it's mostly free, when it's mostly discounted. In a few places, I've been able to cover the entire food bill just through some of these credits. Even like in the Waldorf in New Orleans, I ended up using my daily dining credits there. It was $50 per day. The $50 ended up covering breakfast for me and my wife that morning, the day before we left. It was great. Just hang out there. All these hotels usually have a taste of the local cuisine too. But a lot of people like to go out and do the restaurants there. And I'm just like, I don't mind doing the excursions, go on a tour, go all these different things, and then come back and hang out in the hotel. Like I just, but it's just me. It's just me. I'm a little weird. Um, um, that's funny. Israel says, "Yes, sir. You are pronouncing my name right. Very nice. Last night means snow in Spanish. LOL. Puerto Rican like Joe and born in Wisconsin. Puerto Rican like Joe and born in Wisconsin. Very nice, very nice. So, but you said you last night you meant last name. So Nieves is snow in Spanish. Really? My let me see. What's Nieves? Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Nieves is snow. Nieves. It doesn't say it, but Nieves is snow. Very nice. It's funny. I have Italy booked and Puerto Rico booked for a similar amount of time away. And so I had to make a decision because I always had to go. I'm gonna make a whole video on this, I think, because I think it's a fun topic that hasn't been hit yet. Because probably most people don't care about it, but I do. Which is I always said that whenever I was going to book somewhere abroad or somewhere where like the majority of people spoke a different language, I said I'm going to learn whatever language of that country or place for minimum 6 months leading up to the trip. If I have that amount of time, if I have more, 12 months, cool. But like the 6 months leading up to it, I'm going to go pretty hard. I'm going to study that language. So I had to choose. I'm going to Puerto Rico and I'm going to Italy. Puerto Rico's 5 days, Italy's 3 weeks. I chose Italian. I chose Italian, unfortunately. Maybe not unfortunately. All right, it's my heritage, and I feel like if I know Italian, I can get by with the Spanish decently. And there will always be another time we'll go to Spain or something, and I'll really hone in on the Spanish. But for now, I'm like, let's do Italian. So we have like 5 months, a little bit more than 5 months. So I've been doing like some of the language learning stuff. So I have a whole plan, because I've done this in the past. I've learned languages in the past, so I already have some experience doing this. Years experience to be honest. And so I never used Duolingo, but I thought it would be interesting to do Duolingo, and they really have improved their product in the last decade. So I started learning languages when I was like probably about 9 years ago, I would say. And then I took a long break and now I'm kind of back to it. But Duolingo back then was kind of trash, and there was so many other apps that I like. But nowadays they've really improved and I'm loving it. I'm actually really loving learning Italian through Duolingo. And by the end of the course, I think I'm going to probably get through it probably in about another month and a half, I would say, at the pace I'm going at about 30 minutes to an hour a day. At the end of it, I should have learned around 2,792 words, I think it is, for Italian. That's enough to be like okay, like somewhat conversational in the Italian language because I guess there's some conjugations, but not as many as like some other language like Russian. So I figured like a couple months of Duolingo, and then like the last 3 months or 4 months will be on an app I like to call LinkQ, which I'll make a whole video talking about. But LinkQ or Link, it's great. It's just a bunch of stories, and it's all in the target language. And you like, oh, what's this word? Arrivederci, and then you click on it, and it says goodbye, and then you see it. Then the next time you see it in another story, you're like, oh, I've seen that word before. It's like it's perfect. But I would think it would be cool to make a video like Duolingo versus whatever for a certain amount of time, all those videos. I think that'd be cool. But I think it's like an untapped thing in the credit card travel space because we're not just credit cards, we're also travel people. And we're not just travel people, we're also like, I guess a lot of us culture seeking, and not just that, but also like immersing yourself in areas. And I'm like, it'd be cool to bridge the gap between all these different topics. and it's something I have a real like love for. So yeah, that's my roundabout saying of Nieves is cool. Um, but what you know about Italiano? So that's just me. Anybody else do that? Is there anybody else in this community? Like, would I have an audience if I talk about language learning for traveling abroad and stuff like that? I think I could finally start doing it because we're doing it now, you know. So I think it would be fun. um, Dong Kim here after work. What's going on, Dong? It's popping, man. How's that wallet treating you, man? Josh says the IHG person straight up said they wouldn't let you do a timeshare if you were under 25. That's crazy. So crazy. Filmo, I got 526,000 Hilton points by transferring my business plat welcome offer. Okay, so this, in case you don't know, Filmo's trying to throw shade at me saying, "Oh, by the end of the timeshares and the credit cards, we'll probably have 500,000 Hilton points." And he's saying that he just got it on his simple business plat welcome offer. But my retort to that is, okay, nice, but now you don't have a few extra vacations under your belt, and you just gave away all of your Amex points, which arguably could have been worth way more than the 500,000 Hilton points. You could have transferred that to many different airlines and stuff. So you could always be doing more, Filmo. Don't act like you're above this, right? You're not above me, man. Maybe you are above me because you're taller than me, but you're not above timeshares. you're not you're not above it. Maybe you are above it. A frugal dad. What's up, AV? Greetings from South Jersey. South Jersey. How far? Well, don't say how far, but shout out. They say like because it's like Seaside Heights. Are you Atlantic City? Are you Wildwood? Are you Cape May? You know, like all those places. Well, I don't really care for Wildwood, but Ms. Potato just tuning in. Hello, sir. How are you? Kirby, catching up on the stream from my delayed flight in Appleton, Wisconsin. Hey, don't you and you got to go hit up Israel. Born in Wisconsin. Go hit up Israel. Hit them up. um, yeah, Nieves. Snow. Too short. What properties are you staying in Italy? So oddly enough, there's actually a few boutique hotels, like more boutique than on brand, because I just found after doing research, I was like, these ones I think would be really nice, and they're in areas that aren't in the most dense because we're going to be driving, so we're going to be going to areas that you can't normally access. I would say just via train and stuff like that. So we're seeing a lot of boutique. As far as like the name ones that like you would know just by saying it as well. First night we're landing in Milan. We're staying at the Park Hyatt. Did I need to do that for an overnight stay? No, but I need to hit Brand Explorer for Park Hyatt, and I just want to experience my first Park Hyatt, and why not in Milan? So we'll do that. Then we're going to Lake Como, do a boutique stay. I might, if it's still available, once I have some points clear with Hilton, because I'm bankrupt Hilton. If I could finish this welcome offer really quickly, I'm going to try to book the Hilton Lake Como. I saw there's availability for one of the nights that I would be there. So if I can, I'll do the Hilton Lake Como. That'll be cool. One boutique. So that would be cool. And then down in Florence, we're actually doing the Il Tornabuoni, in a Hyatt hotel that's overlooking. Let me see if I can pull it up. Il Tornabuoni. Let's see here. This one I'm really excited for, and this is where I burned a lot of my points, just because they had some award nights and then some suites available, and I said, you know what, it's gonna be a perfect downtown location. I'm really excited for it. So this is the hotel, and it actually just got devalued. Well, it got upgraded and devalued, right? So it went to a category 7 when I booked it to now it's a category 8. So it's category 8 Unbound Collection. Hyatt, right in the heart of Florence. I'm so excited for it. I think it's gonna be great. So yeah, this is the place that we're going. I think it's like right over there. So that's the one that we're doing in Florence, Italy, and then for Rome. Well, there's a one stop in between, another boutique hotel, and then Rome will be the Palazzo Manfredi Hilton SLS SLH hotel, and then I actually have 2 days that I still have to book in Rome, but I'm kind of waiting on it. I don't know why, but I'm just kind of waiting to see what's available. I'm trying to see if like maybe I'll have some extra Hilton points, maybe I have some Chase points. Trying to see what I might book, but I have 2 days open that I can book whatever I want. But I would say for the most part, those are the main ones. Outside the boutiques. Cage, I'm learning a lot from your channel. Thank you. Appreciate you, Cage. Hey, listen, if anybody can learn anything from my craziness, it means the world to me. So much appreciated for that. Miss Potato, yes, what I said earlier. The Ant Kwai was not listed as a possible property. I asked if we could do one in Poipu, and they said yes. Really? Wow. Good to know. Good to know. Very good to know. Sean says, if you're ever interested in going to Japan, most of the citizens and signs are English friendly. Google Translate takes care of the rest. I get it, but I don't know. I have the love for the language learning, and I feel like it would be a lot of fun to learn Japanese. I think Japanese would be pretty tough. From what I understand, they a lot of their grammar is actually fairly backwards. I don't know if I can remember necessarily the order at this time because it was, I've talked to a lot of friends in that space and everything like that. So they tell me, but what's sad is like I have all my years of language and experience in Mandarin Chinese. And even though all of the Asian languages have basically derived from Mandarin, well, not Mandarin, but a dialect of Chinese from the past many, hundred, I guess thousands of years ago for the Oracle bones, thousands of years ago. Some words in Japanese, like I can see it and be like, oh, I can see the connection there, but it's so different. Like the sounds are so different. The words are so different. They're a lot longer on average. Grammar is different. So yeah, I think it'll be tough, but I'm definitely gonna learn Japanese. Like that's a non-negotiable though. That's gonna be the one that we do, and it's gonna be really tough. But I'm excited to do it for sure. But for now, Italy's next, or Italian's next. um, Box says, now I'm back from Hooters. Very nice. Back from Hooters, everybody. Listen, look, Box is back from Hooters, everyone. Let's make it known. No, back Amex or Chase Marriott cards. I mean, right off the rip, I would say Chase ones. I think you get better welcome offers. Some people like those free nights. Some people like the high points on the boundless. Option to go to Ritz. Like, yeah, I just think personally, I think I like the Chase side better. Amex, you have like the really premium, the brilliance, but I'm just not too interested in it. I'm really not, but yeah, that's just me. Leon says, I was kicked out of a timeshare once because I made under 45,000 per year. Yeah. So some of these, so that's what I think is going to happen. A lot of these timeshares, like Marriott specifically, they actually do have limiters on your income. Like I think there was some times we were targeted. Me and Calby were going to do a Marriott one, and then we saw like, oh, the income has to be like 120,000 a year or something like that. And we don't make that. So I was like, yeah, we can't do that. But for Hilton, they've never really required income. They will ask a lot of the time in certain ways. They'll ask income, usually on offers, but I mean, like, how are they to verify? How are they to verify what you're making? Am I wrong? That's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Filmo says still have us, but Filmo, you have 60. You could have had 1 million. You're not doing enough. You're just not doing enough, Filmo. This is what I'm saying. You're not doing enough. You need to be doing more. You need 1 million MR points. Come on. They go fast. Vincent, it could help to call. Oh, okay. Pete Tran just signed up for Vegas. Whoa, let's go, Pete. Again, make sure you say no. But very nice, Pete. You're gonna have a very nice time with 100,000 points. And personally, I would recommend. It's called the Boulevard. It's called the Boulevard. The one in Vegas, the one that we stayed at. I think that's one of the better ones personally. Let me see if I can actually pull up the address. Yeah, I think this is the one we did. This is the one. The address that says, yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is the one in Vegas that we did. 2650. Remember that number, 2650 Las Vegas Boulevard. Yeah, this is the one that we did. And I like it. It was, yeah, it's like a walk away from Circus, although I hear they're closing Circus. But they have some nice stuff. Where's like the outdoor? Yeah, there's like a bar that we hung out at for like a second, but we didn't really do anything. There's a bunch of pools. It's walkable to the Resort Worlds, Conrad. We did that one of those days. So I think it's a good location, and it's not as crazy. It's nice. Personally, south of Princeton, shout out. And Tushar is also by Prince. Isn't it crazy? It's kind of crazy, this game. It's kind of crazy. Like, what the hell? Um, how is everyone so close to each other? How is it possible? It's so weird. It's so crazy. Everybody know, like, just a random guy, and then everyone congregates, and then somehow, like, everyone's like near each other. Not everyone, but like some people live near each other. It's like this world's huge, but it's really not. Juju, love this channel. Wow, appreciate that, Juju. Means a lot, man. Thank you for that. That means a lot. Filmo says, next meetup, timeshares. Nothing but timeshares. Are you renting a car? Yes, I am renting a car in Italy. Um, After talking more through it, to some of the dudes who were there like constantly, they were like, bro, this is the way. So I said, let's do it. And it made sense to me too. I felt the most comfortable with that versus any other method. We'll likely still have a train in there somewhere. I'm looking to see where it would be the most feasible, but I think cars gonna be a lot of fun. And it's pretty cheap. I was looking on the Capital One portal because I have that Venture 250 through the portal right now, the Venture offer. And after, like, if I wanted to rent it for like 2 weeks plus, I think it was like 450 after the credit. I'm like, okay, like that's great. I think that's great. DC Gemini, I know I'm super late, but I'm watching from the beginning. I would 100% game the system and keep going until they blacklist me. No less than 75K Hilton honest points, though. These are my people. These are my people. I'm tired of hiding it. I'm tired of hiding who I, as if I've ever hidden it. But it's, listen. If I get blacklisted from timeshare, like, what do you want? What do you want from me? I'm not worried. Emor says Italian's very close to Spanish, especially for the basics. Very cool. Very cool. Good to know. Filmo, I would love to learn a new language, but Filmo took too many hits to the head. Hymnal learns so good now. Filmo, you give yourself not enough credit at all. You give yourself the worst credit, actually. Ridiculous. So Leon says that would be an easy way out of the presentation. Just telling you make like 20K a year. Could do it. Hey, listen. Maybe we got to get in there and be like, maybe you got to sit down and be like, okay, we're so happy to have you here. Here, let's do a timeshare package. What about this package that's $11,890, but you get like 600 timeshare credits, grand vacation points, and they never devalue. They're inflation proof. And you'll say, I didn't want to say this in front of my wife, but I only make 20,000 a year. That's half my income. I'm not supposed to be here. And then that's it. They leave. They say, all right, get out. That's what we should do. Actually, maybe that's what we got to do. Maybe that is what we have to do. That's funny, right? That would be an easy way out. The Alara looks nice. Yeah, for sure. Jason says, Wet Republic at MGM. Yeah, lots of fun. Don't know if it's still there, especially if you're Jack like Venture here. Oh my goodness. Freaking Anthony Venture, man. Freaking Anthony Venture. He's gonna be around forever. He became a meme and now he's just gonna stay here forever. Ridiculous. How do you say hit the like button in Spanish? Edmar says, I'm pretty sure it's Wepa. Oh, Juan's got us. Juan says, Pegale el botón de like. How's that? How's that for pronunciation? Pegale el botón de like. But also Wepa also works, I think. I think that's what I heard from Joe. Which, by the way, Joe has his stream tomorrow. We're gonna have to hit him up. We'll have to hit up Joe tomorrow. We'll see. You got a stream. I forgot it's Monday. I'm not usually live on a Monday. DC says, I want to do a timeshare in DC just because I'm bored, but $200 for 50K isn't worth it. I can't find those offers you're seeing. Did you maybe you missed it in the chat? I'll just post it again. Screw it. Whoever wants to take advantage. See if you can just put that in your browser, because right now there is a DC offer. That would be a stone throw from you living there. DC 229 is a little more expensive and only 3 days, so one less day and like $80 more. But there is 100,000 points. In fact, honestly, 3 days would probably be better, right? You might not want to stay there. I was honestly, this is how crazy I am. If you want to hear how crazy I was thinking the other day, I was like, I have half a mind. shouldn't even say this. I have half a mind. Well, I guess it's not really a big deal. I have half a mind to have my brother-in-law also sign up for it under his name. Say I'm going with him. I'll go and drive him to the destination. I will do the timeshare with him, and I will just pay him cash for his time. I will pay him a few $100s to go and do it, and then have him, since Hilton's very easy to transfer points, have him transfer me the 100,000 points. That's the point where I'm at. I'm like, why not? Get everybody to go to a timeshare. Let's get the whole family and everyone books it under their own name, and then just transfer it all back to Anthony, and he'll pay you cash. Because like you would buy Hilton points, right? How much would you pay for 100,000 Hilton points? You got to make sure you're not paying more than what the cash price would be. But come on, you know what the hell? I'm trying to be a little crazy. I won't do that though, personally, but I thought about it for a second. Sean says, by the way, Cabo was only 50K, but I was like, it's Cabo, so it's a good trade off, especially when they offered it like a month after the New York City presentation. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. Hear me out. By the time I'm through, I will make it. I think I have a real world where I can make it mainstream for us in the points and miles game to supplement most of our vacations with Hilton timeshares. How about that? A lot of people talk about, oh, I want to go to Cabo. A lot of people want to go to some of these other places. Some people want to go to different destinations. I going to go to these different cities and stuff. I want to go to Cabo. Go do a timeshare. It's so ridiculous. People hate me for the timeshare. It's my whole personality right now. Every few months, I metamorphose into a new thing. But right now, it's it's me going. It's going a little too much with the timeshare. But just because I'm having fun with it, then something else will catch my eye. Film says, I actually did a timeshare in Vegas once for show tickets. Wow, never even made it past the intro breakfast. I think my credit score is like 550 then, and no job. Damn, no job, no score, no nothing. Just coming on. Just come on in. Come on in and do the timeshare with us. I'm probably, just to let you guys know, if you want to drop anything, just if you want to just chat or have questions about things or whatever, I'm probably going to leave in the next 10 minutes just because I have to pick up my wife from somewhere. A little bit shorter today, but wanted to get this info out. Might be live during the week too. I'm not sure. I have to talk about my tax situation and hidden welcome offers. A few things to talk about. But just let you know, 10 minutes and then I'm gonna leave. So if you have any last words, Cody Little, I've received the 100K timeshare offer and debated on 199 3 nights in Vegas. Like outside of the normal one, like, are you debating the one that's public right now, or do you just have one currently? Because this one's 149, 100,000 points, 4 days, for this Vegas one. Unless you have one, also, for sure. But that's cool. Yeah, I think it's a great offer too. Um, you debated on one night for 3 nights. Emmer says, I had much preferred to buy points, than listen to some guru talking about timeshares. But I respect the hustle. I hear you, Emmer. I hear you. Absolutely. I don't blame you. See, I have a different vantage point though. It's like I'm a little bit different because I can, like I was talking about, I can make a video from the timeshare experience, and it's like I guarantee you'll do well. Like the timeshare people, for some reason, people love timeshare content. Not you guys, the timeshare audience. They're different, but they come in droves, and they usually, some people call me like a fake and a fraud or whatever, and then some people are like, yeah, it's actually good, and some people are like, don't do it, it's a scam, you know. But they're not, they're not us, so I don't really care that much. But I just know it's a decent video and it's funny, so why not? Deezy says, oh, I see the link, my bad. Cool. Mr. Potato will check it out. Okay. Mahaki. Walmart codes as groceries if you have Walmart Plus and use the scan and go feature. Yeah, very nice. Are you talking about just talking through the Chase Sapphire Preferred, where if you do the scan and go, like I was talking about, that Chad originally founded a couple of years ago, the Publix, scan and go, which works at Kroger as well. Walmart, in this case, Walmart Plus, you pay with your Sapphire Preferred, which we also have as a prop. You pay with the Sapphire Preferred. You do there's a little scanny thing on there at Publix. I do it every time, every single time I'm paying with the Sapphire Preferred at Publix through the online grocery option, and getting 3x back on all that. And it's totally worth it. Racking up a ton of points with Publix. And Cody says, what the F? Why is that one better? Hilton is a scam. That's all it takes. That's all it takes for Hilton to get a bad rap. I mean, look at me. Last week, look at my video. Not to be dramatic, but Hilton Grand may have lied to me. Now we're here again. Not to be dramatic, but Hilton Grand made it right. We're getting points. Um, so one wrong move, and you get branded as a scam. That's why you got to be. What the hell is that? We have a cat next to us. Wow, I didn't even see. What's that cat doing? So yeah, that's my entire spiel on the Hilton Grand Vacations timeshare, on where they went from making a mistake to making it right. And now I'm hopefully going to be able to game the system and get a lot of good points in timeshares. And he says I use the Freedom Flex and it coded as groceries as well. Very cool, very cool, very nice. There you go. Absolutely, get those points whenever you can. And let me just make sure. So I think with that, we'll probably say we'll bid ourselves an adieu so I can get ready to go pick her up. As always, John R. Let's go. Super chat. Appreciate you, sir, for being here. Appreciate everybody who was here, for this entire stream. You know what? I'll cut myself off because Boxer is a real one. Box says, when I'm done with my run with MR points, would you cancel the gold card to having no annual fee being I have the BPP? Personally, yeah. For me, like if you're asking me like what I would do, I think so. I think so. I think I don't know. There's so many data points in this game. There's so many different opinions. What I've kind of learned more recently than ever is like the faster I can just earn points, the more enjoyable life is. And so the faster I can accumulate points, the better vacations I could take, the more often I could do them. So I'm like not really concerned with like the cards necessarily nowadays. Like, oh, is this a good card or is this a bad card? I'm just like, how can I accumulate a large sum of points? So in my opinion, I'm like, I'm not really worried about earning 4x on a gold card anymore. If I can earn 2x on a VPP, I agree. But I'm just thinking more so like, okay, is there another card I can apply for right now that can secure some future vacations? And it's like, if so, then cool. What am I short on? Am I short on chase points? Like right now, I'm basically at 0 chase points. I have like 10,000 left after all my crazy run last year. And I'm like, how can I re-get some more chase points? Is there some ink cards I can apply for? Is there, some other chase cards? Like I'm really excited for my 4-year anniversary on my Sapphire Preferred for me and my wife, because next year at this time we will have gotten the Sapphire Preferred again, and probably racked up between referrals between us two, like going back and forth, probably like 200,000, maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but another 200,000 chase points. I'm like, cool, that's a good stash. Could I get another ink card, something like that? I'm just like, that's like the only thing I care about nowadays. Honestly, it's very much like a Luke-esque thought process where that's kind of how he thinks. He's like, how can I accumulate a massive amount of points and just use that for vacation? So I don't know. Lately, I've just I've lost my not necessarily lost my care, but some of the cards I'm just like, all right, they're cool, but where can I get points? Where can I get some good travel value from some card? That's why I got the Surpass. The Surpass just ends up being a great card for me anyway because I love gold status. The credits I can use, like the $50 credits, are easy, but I'm not looking at the multipliers. I'm just looking at, I'm just excited for, getting a large, like, free night certificate and a large sum of points. Like, hell yeah. Like if we can secure the 500,000 points, Hilton points this year, that's going to be great vacations. That's how I look at it nowadays. So if you're asking like on a card basis, yeah, I would rather earn a 2x on the BPP versus pay a 325 annual fee, on the gold, but that's just me. That's just me. And go see what else you can get in the meantime, personally. MR, oh, hit me with the 5 spot. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you. Much, much appreciated. And thanks for being here. And MR, I don't really say this very often, but you've been around for a long time, man. You were there. I think you were there for like one of my first streams ever 3 years ago. Or no, that wasn't 3 years ago, probably 2.5 years ago. Yeah, about 2.5 years ago. So you were there. So I appreciate you, man, and all your jokes over the years, Mr. ENTP. So much appreciated. Not me again. Just tuned in and saw the intro. Got me excited until I see timeshare hard pass. Unbelievable. Everyone's a hard pass. And go pick up. All right, fine, Phil. We'll go pick up the wife. So thanks again, MR and John. and then everybody who was here. So Filmo, always keeping it lively. Appreciate it. Not me again. MR, Boxer, Hecky, Cody, Mr. Potato, the gentleman, Gemini, on the same wavelength with killing it. Sean, Juan, Jason, Leanne, you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for being here on a Monday. Always, always means a lot, and yeah, means more than you know. So let me go pick her up and just enjoy, have fun, and just have fun today. All right, take care, everybody, and